Hey guys, Bored now, back with you for another brand new TV review. I goofed that intro up, and on this video I'm gonna be talking about the first episode of the new Netflix series I Am Not Okay With This, and the first episode is called Dear Diary. So I've literally just watched this, so just gonna give a few random thoughts on it. It's a new coming of age teen type drama series with some comedy as well. It's got a supernatural element added to it because the setup is then you have the lead, Sydney, played by Sophia Lillis, who you might have seen in the It movies, but also in Sharp Objects. One of the, I think, really potentially big rising stars. I think she's shown a lot of early promise. And the setup is then she's got some issues. We find out in this episode then she lost her father recently and that he committed suicide, so it's still, this big cause of tension between her and mother. They're still coming to terms with it. But the actual plot in this episode is that her best friend essentially starts dating this jock character, this guy who Sydney really hates, basically. But to add another thing onto that, she has a crush on her best friend. So that makes things all the more worse. And the title of the show is really just capturing that raw teenage emotion, the way things are kind of multiplied, and how at that age these things can seem so much more worse. And it's just a glib sort of title referencing the fact that I think probably what they're going to be doing in each episode is a different situation that has kind of made her angry and motivated. And of course the twist is that she has supernatural powers that she hasn't been aware of, but they come out through her anger. So there's a couple of examples in this episode. So in the scene when she finds out that her friend is dating this guy, he then comes into the diner and they start sitting together and kind of flirting and stuff and just talking a lot. So her rage inside, Sydney's that is, causes him to have a nosebleed. And there's another example later in the episode where something around the house, I think it was like the sink or something, is making a lot of noise. So this is like getting her mad as well. So she's able to control it and stop it through her rage. So that's kind of going to be the ongoing thing. Then something that makes her mad, she has these powers which she's been unaware of, which is going to cause something to happen as a result. So her anger is kind of fueling these new powers. So that's the setup, and I quite enjoyed the first episode. I'll say then there's only 7 episodes in the first season, and they're all short episodes, so I think that's going to make this very easy to binge. This one was only like 19 minutes, 18 minutes, something like that. I think the others are around about half an hour, so they're still short, but this is the shortest actually. But I think this episode did a good job of just giving like me a tease of maybe what to expect, just a little warm up for the other episodes and the themes without giving too much. It in a way just a quick sort of insight into her world, into her head, her feelings. So she starts seeing a guidance counsellor, and although she's kind of not really into the idea and not really connecting with her, this guidance counsellor has an idea that she should keep a diary and just write down her thoughts. And we do see then Sydney is actually does give some credit to the guidance counsellor, actually thinks she's not too bad. But that's obviously Dear Diary, so we're hearing the thoughts which come from the diary. And I think Sophia Lillis is really good. I think she's very natural. She captures that sort of rawness of being a teen during like crucial years. I think, yeah, she just comes across very awkward and deadpan and just really convincing. But also, I think you think, yeah, there's something to this girl as well. It's something more than just a normal kind of fed up with it all sort of teen. So I think she gets across like the angst of being a teen, but also there's something a little bit more. And I think sometimes these shows, especially on Netflix or otherwise, I think the problem they have is that they're just a bit too tween, and they just lay it on a bit too thick with like the big emotional beats and the music. They just go crazy with the pop culture soundtracks. Now there is a fair bit of music in it, and the music is good, but it's more deftly done. It's more sort of in the background and capturing the mood, and it's not so in your face. So I appreciated that. There's some funny lines of dialogue, some very natural lines of dialogue. It did feel sort of very realistic, and I think also I like the voiceover so far. So it's like, I think she has quite a neutral voice, which helps, so it doesn't grate too much. It is kind of deadpan and, sounds very dry, but it doesn't sound too like typically, sort of like angsty sort of teen. So I did appreciate that. So good lead performances, some funny dialogue. The character so far, it's obviously mostly her. Her mother is played by, I always forget this actress's name, but it's the one who's in Lock and Key at the moment, another Netflix show, but also a lot of people know her for Scandal. And she so far seems like she's going to be an interesting enough mother figure. At the moment, I think we're just seeing how difficult it is as a single parent and still coming to terms with the loss of your husband. And we're seeing the confusion from Sydney on that front, just dealing with not just losing a parent at that sort of age, but just in the manner he did it, the fact that he took his own life. But I thought it was a decent introduction to the mother. I think you can tell they have quite an awkward relationship, and certainly the mother doesn't feel like Sydney does a lot around the house, or maybe doesn't do enough to help her out. But they feel like quite a natural, mother-daughter type relationship. And there's a younger brother as well. And he looks like he might be quite a quirky, funny little character, because he comes up with this idea, this like imaginary sort of zoo type thing, where he would use it to get vengeance on someone who he doesn't like. And we see him and Sydney spend a bit of time together. So I think there's potential there for a good family unit. I think there's this character who's like meant to be a good sort of friend, like a male friend, and he's this kind of almost this trope of a character, this sort of just kind of the nerdy but kind of sweet, innocent, like douchey. Well, not douche, that's the wrong word, but that, as I said, nerdy, sweet kind of guy who I think is going to be like the comic relief, and it's sort of character we see in a lot of like coming of age, like dramas, comedies, really ever since the Duck himself from Pretty in Pink in the 80s. And I thought that was maybe the weakest part of the episode, just because it appears as though he has a crush on Sydney, and that feels a bit of a cliche, but you know, I mean, I thought he was alright in the scene he was in. I mean, part of the joke is that he likes this band called Blood Witch, which is this random kind of generic sort of name. I'm sort of wondering if there really is a band called Blood and Witch. I suspect they made it up for the episode, but in any case, we get a scene later where he like sends her some of their stuff, and then she starts listening, and it's just like this connection between the two of them, which you know, okay, it doesn't do much for me, but anyway, it's just if they're gonna do the whole she's in love with this girl, but she's going out with this annoying jock, but then she's got this really close friend who actually likes her. If they're just gonna do that dynamic, that's quite well worn at this stage. That could get quite old, but yeah, it was an enjoyable first episode. I'll definitely check more out on this, and I'll do a review of episode 2 coming up soon. But if you've seen this, if you've seen episode 1, then let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and look out for more new TV reviews coming up soon. But thanks for watching, and goodbye.